We're looking at the top 5 things to do in Iorras, and I'm joined by my cousin, Derek Lee. Let's see where we are. So if we're starting at the Ballyliffin Golf Club, we're coming out of the golf club, going right, up through Ballyliffin, down into Kilmany, and then we're going on out the road towards Iorras, Leenan, past the NAF, and then we're over, and number 1 is here, and then there's the Leenan Beach, number 2, and the other 2 beaches. Number 3 then is the lakes and the Crashsite, we're up in Iorras Hills. 4 is the Mamore Gap, and then 5 is Mamore Cafe. So number 1 on the list is Leenan Fort. This is such a cool place to explore and walk about in, and as soon as you walk through the gates, it's like stepping back in the past. The Leenan Fort was built in 1895 by the British Army, and it was built to protect the entrance of the Loch Swilly. The 3 main attractions would be, there used to be 3 9'2" military weapons lined up here looking out to the loch, and then there's a series of tunnels that go underneath the fort, and you can go down and explore them, and then there's the cliffs that are called the bends, which are a class as well.
Didn't know that.
Neither did I, but there's a post on Facebook that goes through all the history and kind of background information of the fort, so I'll link that down below.
Ugh.
Oh, it's not really
I touched that as well. Yeah. This is getting a bit dark here. Oh. This bag's not too small, is it? That was cool.
You scared?
No. I'm not afraid of nothing.
So the tunnels and the fort itself are very cool to look at and to explore, but you have to keep in mind that it's very, very old. It hasn't been looked after at all. There's buildings falling down, there's rubble, there's manholes that aren't covered, so I would be wary about coming here yourself, and I would advise not to bring young children here.
But there's a fort in Dunnery which would be much safer, and it's more of a tourist attraction, which we highly recommend you check out.
Alright, that's number 1 on the list complete, and next up we have the beaches. Alright, so number 2 on the list is beaches, and there's 3 possible beaches that we could look at, so we're going to roll the 3 of them into one of the 5.
This is Leenan Beach. This is the rocky shore. This is Tulla Bay.
So that's the beaches done, and next on the list is number 3, which is the lakes and the Crashsite, and we need to go up this road to get to them. Derek, do you want to race?
See up there.
Alright, this is the road that takes us up to the lakes and the Crashsite, and... You alright, Derek? Do you want to race again?
No.
Right, come on. Alright, we just arrived at Lake 1 and it's called Crumlock. It's the smaller of the 2 lakes, and now we're going to move on to the next one. This is the second lake. It's called Loch Fad, and it's about a 10-minute walk up from the other lake. And next we're going to go look at the Crashsite. So this is the Crashsite. You see there's a cross made out of parts that were up here, and then if you look around there's other parts scattered around from when they crashed. In 1941 I think it was. Yeah. There's a plaque up here as well. It has the date and the names of the crew members. There's 6 of them. There's a bomber plane I think. Their ages as well, where they're from, so 25, 24, 19, 22, roughly the same age as myself, so they're very young. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't know if they were meant to come up the Loch Swilly or if they were meant to go up the Loch Foyle, but there was heavy fog and they didn't see the mountain or didn't know about them, and then they ended up crashing into it. That's number 3 in the list done, the lakes and the Crashsite, and now we're going to go over to Mamore Gap. So this is number 4, the gap itself. There's not as much for me to talk about in the gap. It's more about just the drive over itself and this wee thing called the Magic Road. There's instructions of what to do on a sign up at the car park up here. So this is the sign with instructions of what to do in the Magic Road at the bottom of the sign. Now we're going up to the drone. Alright, so last on the list is Mamore Cafe. This is situated on the first car park on the Gap, and you can stop in for tea or coffee or snacks on your way over. This is Rosie, who owns the cafe.
Hi.
Rosie, can I get a latte, please?
Do you want any flavourings in it?
Aye, please. Can I have caramel?
Sure.
Derek Lee, what do you want?
Can I get a tea, please?
No problem.
Sweet.
Get 1 pump or 2 pump?
2, please.